only thing I can remember, which is everything, we had a gentleman that was driving in our parking lot, and I noticed him falling to the back of the Central High School building. We met, and he told me he was there because his brother works there. So he drove on to the front of the building, and I went to the back to enter. When I went to the back, I met up with the principal. At that time was Melanie Rodden, and I told her that the gentleman was here looking for his brother. Of course, I didn't know who the brother was. And while I was telling her that, the secretary up front talked to her on the radio that she had a man that wanted to see her. So she asked me to come go with her. We did. Met up with him, and he waited because we had a few people that were leaving school. Some were coming in late. And as soon as it cleared, he pulled his gun on the principal, and I got between them. I tried to negotiate with him to put it down. The principal eventually was released out of the building. Not out of the building. She was released out of the foyer because the door hadn't locked. She got away. I started backing into the building. Still talking to the gentleman about putting his gun down. He wouldn't. He tried to take mine. We negotiated on and on. At one point, he wanted to pull a fire alarm, and I told him the one he was looking at had been disabled, but I would take him to the one that was working. And that took a while to go through the hallway. Basically, I was trying to find something to get behind, which in school there's not much. Even thinking about getting to a locker, we didn't get that far because by then other two officers had met us. They were entered another door, side door, by one of the assistant principals, and they met up with us. They saw what was going on. Shots were fired, and the gentleman did not survive.
That was a tough morning that morning. I was on my way to work, and my chief deputy called me on the telephone while I was driving to work and told me that they had Officer Gudger hostage, and told me we're at Central High School. And I said, I'll be there in a minute. And I remember laying the telephone down, and I've never driven that hard and that fast to Central High School before in my life. But when I got there, there was other officers from our department. We responded in about 2 minutes' time. So we had a lot of officers all around that school. And I think there's ended up about 4 or 5 that decided they'd go in it. And they knew where it was at. The lady, the assistant principal that was under the desk or wherever she was at in the building, she was calling every move by move down that hall, which that helped the officers. It couldn't have worked out any better. And if she hadn't have done that, it would have really been hard. But for the officers and all of us outside, we were hearing real time, exactly where they're at, what's going on, what's happening, and so we got the keys to the building, and we went in. Well, they went in first. I was the last one. But anyway, they went in, and then it actually kind of worked out the best because she was walking him down the hall. They were walking with each other down the hall. And then when they got to this one spot, he couldn't go any farther because there's police officers around the back of that. So, I mean, that was the end of where he could go, period. And so, like she said, they told him to drop his weapon and all this, and then he pointed at one of the officers, and when they did, they opened fire and they killed the man right there in the hall. But that was a tough day on everybody. But it's the only time that I can remember, and there might have been some other time somewhere, but it's the only one that we could ever find at that particular time in 2010 that active shooter went into a building and didn't hurt anybody. He was the only one that got hurt. And almost every time you have an active shooter, somebody gets shot. Some innocent person in the building will get shot. Well, that didn't happen in this case. It could have happened, and Officer Gudger could have been killed at any time, but she wasn't. And And I think she was heroic in how she handled everything, and the fact the way she talked to him to try to keep him calm and not, you know, anybody else might have just stirred him up and made him that much madder, but she didn't. She kept him calm, and I think that's because of her nature and her personality, plus the training she had. So it was, you know, it all ended in, you know, the best it could. That's all I can say.